Good good morning, good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Beverly-fells-Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I just want to welcome you today. You know, yesterday I was talking with a friend of mine who was also a client, and she's kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit. And we were talking about the choices we make in our lives. It's specifically about food. And so today, I'm going to talk about why I can't eat just one. And you've heard the advertisement that you can't just eat one. And I'm not going to say the advertiser, but I think you know which one it is. It has to do with potato chips. Yes. So, anyway, for those of you who are new, welcome to the show. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please check the up button and say you like this. If the information that I've given you is helpful to you. Also, if you are new, please subscribe, hit the bell so that you're notified when I am or have uploaded a new audio. If you're listening to this on Spreaker, go ahead and follow me, and please find me on YouTube and join me there because I have other videos that I post during the week. Anyway, and on iTunes, please go ahead and give me a good review if you like what you hear. And please listen to other shows if the title intrigues you. And those of you on YouTube, just take a look throughout the channel. There might be something there that you enjoy. I talk about a lot of different things. And so today, why can't I eat just one? Yeah, we were having a conversation about eating. And I really thought about that as far as other things in our life. Things that we are maybe obsessed with, or we find that either we can't stay away from, or we do stay away from in our life. I can't eat just one. You know, so let's go to the food part. What is the thing that you just know that you say, oh, I just want a little bit, and then you have a little bit, and then the next thing you know, you've eaten the whole thing? I've never been one that can sit and eat a whole half gallon of ice cream, right? And I know people who can't and who have. And they just say, well, they start eating it and then they want another bite and another bite. I'm that way with sugar cookies. Now, not sugar cookies you buy in the store, the sugar cookies that I make. Now, there's a cookbook called Joy of Cooking, and it's had many, updates, but the version I have has a sugar cookie recipe in there that uses oil as its base. And it's basically flour, oil, cinnamon, nutmeg, and a little bit of water and lots of sugar, right? And I say, okay, well, I'm going to make it kind of healthy in that, I'm going to use organic sugar or whatever. But anyway, getting off topic here. But if I make that, I find myself previously, years past, I would wind up eating 4 or 5 cookies, right? And I'm still not totally satisfied. I have to quit. And those cookies, I usually make them like 2 inches, circumference is like 2 inches, so they're pretty big. And you roll them in sugar and you press them down. So there's sugar on the outside as well as in the cookie. And I would find that I'd eat it and then I'd go away and I say, no, I'm not going to eat another one. And within 30 minutes or so, I'm back eating another cookie. And so I had to figure out why that was. And many of you already know that scientifically, sugar is extremely addictive. You and I'm serious. There is sugar in things you never thought of. So if you're buying items, canned items, or um, the powdered kits, I was looking at the soup mixes or other kinds of things. Start reading the ingredients. You're going to find some form of sugar in there, some form of sweetener. Even if it says sugar free, it's aspartame or sucralose or something of that nature. Sugar, the sweetness. One time I was making sausage gravy. I wanted sausage gravy that morning. And for the longest time, I bought the white pepper gravy mix and just mixed and used it and put my sausage in it. Well, this one time I was out camping and I didn't have any sausage gravy mix in the cupboard. So I went, I said, I don't know why I buy sausage, the gravy mix anyway, the pepper gravy mix anyway, because I know how to make gravy. And yeah, it's a white gravy, so I just don't have to brown the flour. So those of you who are cooks, you know brown gravy has a base of brown flour. So I just fried up the sausage and pulled the sausage itself out of the pan, left the sausage grease in the pan, and then the flour in there, and just kind of browned it just a teeny wee bit, just as it was just starting to turn brown. And then I added the pepper, a nice amount of pepper and salt, and put the water in and let it thicken up, and then I added back the sausage. And I said, well, that should be good, right? I flavored it with the salt and the pepper, and then the sausage grease and the sausage itself should flavor the gravy. It didn't taste right. There was something wrong. I said, I don't understand. I mean, it tasted good. I mean, it was still flavorful, but there was something missing. So the next time I went to the store, I pulled up the package of the gravy mix that I buy. It's locally um, made here in Texas. And I looked at the ingredients, and lo and behold, there was sugar in it. So the next time I made sausage and gravy, I didn't buy the pack. The next time I made sausage and gravy, I added a teaspoon of sugar. Not a lot, just a teaspoon, because you don't want it sweet. Don't you know that had the flavor? Honestly, just that little bit. And I said, and that's one of the things that made me start looking at ingredients. So I no longer buy that gravy mix. I make my gravy from scratch and I do not add sugar. I wanted to get used to the taste. And as I started looking at other things, sugar. Sugar is addictive. So when you're looking at what you're eating, see if there's sugar there or in it, because it will make you go for more. So that's just one example of me and my sugar cookies, and you just wanted it more and more. It was that taste of sugar. It was that taste in my mouth of, that satisfaction. And the other piece of why I can't eat just one, a lot of times when you're eating, you're distracted. So you're eating your cookie and you're watching TV. You're eating your cookie, you're reading a book, I hope. Eating your cooking, you're having conversation with someone, I hope, right? But you're distracted. You're not paying attention. There are other times when I've been eating things. Spaghetti and meatballs. I love spaghetti, and then I'd eat it, and then I'd want more, but I'm full. So why do I want more? I wanted that taste in my mouth, and I'm distracted because I'm reading while I'm eating, or I'm having a conversation while I'm eating. And so I'm distracted. So I learned, God, I went all the way around the mountain, but I learned that if I stopped being distracted, put the book away, turn off the television or the radio or the computer. If you're having a conversation, you still have the conversation but concentrate on your food. In other words, you put it in your mouth, a spoonful, a bite in your mouth. Savor the flavor. Like that. Savor the flavor. What I found is when I did that, I did not require as much to satisfy me. So that's number one. Always savor the flavor. So the other thing I can't eat just one of is kettle cooked potato chips. There's a certain brand I buy. When I buy it, yes, I still buy my potato chips because I want the salt on it. If it's low, if it has a small amount of salt, I find that I wind up eating more because I'm looking for the salt satisfaction on that. When I do the potato chips, I take a small amount. I have a small bowl that I'll put the potato chips in and measure that small amount out, package up the potato chips, and put them away. Because if I eat straight from the bag, and you know this, if you eat straight from the bag, you wind up eating a whole ton. Measure it out. Also, I am not distracted when I eat those potato chips. You know, I could be watching a movie, but when I put that chip in my mouth, I want it to melt. I want it to crunch. I want certain things and eat it slowly so that I would be satisfied. So what do you have that you find that you can eat one and then you find that you've eaten a lot? What is it about that one thing that you love so much? So no, I don't tell people to totally stop eating, but you've got to find a way to limit the amount that you eat. You've got to find a way to stop yourself from going overboard. Now, some of you've got to stay totally away from that item because you cannot find a way to stop yourself from eating it. You are totally addicted to it, and you cannot not eat a lot. So for those of you, I tell you, if you have something in your life like that, get rid of it. And yeah, people say, well, it takes willpower, Beverly. It just takes willpower. And I go, willpower is just a decision. You know that there are addicts who decide that they're no longer going to use heroin or meth or opioids. They just decide and they go into a program because they've got to go through withdrawal. Well, let me tell you something about sugar. You will go through a withdrawal when you stop using sugar. Same way with caffeine. If you stop using caffeine, you will go through withdrawal symptoms. So that's why some people really, they start feeling bad. I don't know what's wrong with me. They change their diet. They go to a paleo diet, or they go to keto diet, or they go to certain other diets, and they realize that they're in pain. They got aches and pains in their body. They just have these overwhelming cravings. You are going through withdrawal, and that can be very hard. When I first started cutting down on sugar, I haven't cut it out, obviously, But when I first started cutting down on sugar, I would just have these cravings. I want, or salt. I gotta have some potato chips, or I gotta have some cookies, or no, just candy, right? Candy. And so I said, all right, from now on, I'm only going to buy the good candy. No more candy from the counter at the grocery store. I'm going to go get Lady Godiva or C's candy or something that's a little bit more expensive that has more cocoa in it. And I'm only going to buy a little bit. And so I'll buy some C. I bought C's candies and then I put it in the freezer. And then I would allot myself one piece. That, yes, that takes discipline. And it also takes a burning desire to change your life. A burning desire. I go back to Napoleon Hill. If you have a goal that you want to lose weight, if you have a goal that you want to change your job, if you have a goal that you want to do a certain thing or get trained in a certain way, this takes a burning desire. So it's the same way with eating. What is your burning desire? What is your why? Is it to get healthy? That should be your reason. When you make your reason to get healthy, weight loss follows. Getting rid of inflammation in your body. And I've told many people this many times, and I don't remember if I've talked about it on a podcast, but by getting healthy, by changing my eating habits and getting healthy, I no longer have arthritis in my thumbs. And they were painful, very painful. Right? I didn't have it in my elbows or my knees, or it was in my thumbs. I had had a car accident in the 90s. The one side, I didn't go to the chiropractor to get adjusted, and I developed arthritis. And when I started intermittent fasting and doing some 24-hour fast, 36, 48-hour fast, I think I've even gone through 3 days in the last 5 years. I was listening to a podcast on one of my favorite people who talk about intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet. And they talked about arthritis going away, and I went, huh? And then I just started moving my thumbs, and I went, my arthritis is gone. Now, but here's the deal. I know when I'm not eating right because inflammation comes back and the thumb will hurt. And I go, okay, you've been eating too many carbs, so let's get back and lower your carbs down. Once I started on this journey of intermittent fasting, I've dropped 20 pounds. I wasn't super heavy, but I was considered overweight. So 20 pounds. And I may drop another 10, but I'm happy where I am. Now, what's all that got to do with why I can't eat just one? Well, it's what your choices are and you making your decisions about what you want to do, where you want to be. And if you want to get your body healthy, please, I want you to get healthy. And as you get healthy, your weight will follow. And one of the things that I know, and even the people who sell you sweet stuff, even though they want you to eat the sweet stuff, is that sugar is addictive. Sugar causes inflammation. Carbs turn to sugar. And some carbs give you a craving. Potato chips. You crave potato chips. Bread. I love bread, but I have to say, okay, I can have some today, but I can't have any tomorrow. I do things in moderation. Some people, those of you listening, some of you cannot do things in moderation. You have to cut them out. because of your addiction. Please look at it as being addicted to sugar and carbs. It makes you crave it. How do I handle it? How do I handle eating just one? Well, chips, I already told you. When I get it, I portion it out. And then I can't touch those chips again till the next day. So a bag of chips, if I took some a little bit every day, it's going to last me at least a week. I buy the small bag. I don't buy the big oversized bag. It's the small one. The sugar cookies. So I wanted sugar cookies last week. And so I pulled out my Joy of Cooking cookbook, looked at the recipe, and I did one half the recipe. Now, usually I make sugar cookies around Christmas time, and I'll make 2 or 3 batches of it, to give away and have and all that. But I also know I can eat a whole batch myself. So I made a half a recipe. I made the cookies, about 1.5 inches round. And they're in the cookie jar. I made them a week ago. They're in the cookie jar. And I allow myself one. You heard me. One cookie. I will sit and I will not have anything going on. No YouTube, no television, no reading, no anything. I do not drink milk, so I don't have cookies and milk because that can distract your mouth and the taste in your mouth. But I have a little water there with lemon. I will sit and I will break off a piece of that cookie. I will take a small piece and eat that small piece, and I will savor it in my mouth, enjoying the taste of the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and the sugar. There's just a touch of nutmeg flavor, and there's some vanilla in there, and I savor it. And that one little cookie may take me between 5 and 10 minutes to eat. When I finish that cookie, I know I'm satisfied. And even if I'm not and I want to go back and get another one, I drink my water, rinsing out my mouth to take that taste of the sugar and the cinnamon out of my mouth. If it does not work, I'll go brush my teeth to take the flavor out of my mouth. Because as that flavor I've found, once that flavor is in there, if I don't rinse, I am tempted to go back and get another cookie, and I've done that. So I make sure I do things that says I satisfy my need of having the one cookie. I satisfy my need for having potato chips. I satisfy my need if I want some ice cream. I do not go buy a half a gallon of ice cream anymore. I will go up to the Brahms and get a child's scoop of ice cream, which is very small, and it satisfies my need. I do not do this every day because it will affect my health. I have no chips in the house right now. I got those cookies in the cookie jar, and I've skipped a couple days on eating it because my satisfaction is there. One day I really wanted apple pie. So I made the apple pie, a small one in a small container. Really small. Not an 8-inch pie, it was probably 6. And I took what I wanted and I divided it up, put it in bags, put it in the freezer. Those apple pies are still in the freezer. I haven't had a desire. What I hope that I'm sharing with you is the fact that you can have what you want, but you have to figure out the way that you can limit the amount of that sweet or that salt that we know can take us over the cliff And next thing you know, we've eaten enough and we've put on 5 pounds. Now, sometimes that has to do with, some kind of casserole or spaghetti or lasagna. Whatever it is, start paying attention to how you're eating it. And I know that you should do this with everything you put in your mouth. Everything you put in your mouth. When you're out and about and you want something quick to eat, think about it. Think about what you desire. And if you have a desire to go to the fast food place, then think about your choices and what will fill you up or satisfy you. Example, there's a dollar menu at most of the fast food places. And there's a couple in particular that has a small hamburger. You can get that hamburger and take off the bun, or take off half the bun. Get yourself satisfied with the protein. So you can have hamburger, and you can order it. A lot of times they'll do it for you. I want the cheeseburger with no bun. And they might put an extra piece of lettuce or something around it. Right? You can do that and get your protein. When you're tempted to go get those sugary drinks at the gas station, get yourself a bottle of water. Water will fill you up. Hopefully, I've given you some ideas of how you can eat just one or limit the amount you eat. But the best way to not eat it is not have it in the house. If you go out at a friend's house, then you've got to think about what you want to do at that friend's house. What is it that they have that they're serving that keeps you on diet, keeps you out of the mode of addiction? So if they got guacamole there, but they got chips, well, do they have celery, peppers? Eat it with the vegetable. Think of all the ways that you personally can have your burning desire to get healthy coincide with what you eat. Thank you for listening today. Please share the link to this show with your friends and family so that they can learn how to be the best that they can be. Visit my website at commandingyourlife.com and follow me on Facebook. Have any suggestions for the show? Just contact me by emailing Beverly at commandingyourlife.com. Be sure to join me on the next episode. As you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.